afternoon and welcome to The Lyric Professors. I am Professor A and I am joined as ever by Professor Dogger, who can be seen behind me and below me, and on the other side of the world, Professor J. How are things on the other side of the world, Professor J?
Hotsy woo. They're all good.
Excellent.
Okay.
Do you have a guitar demonstration?
Nah, not really today. Just like a little cheeky jazz voicing of an A minor 7.
Very nice.
You just mute that string.
Right.
There we go.
Very
Rather than
good.
doing that, all that. It's much easier. Jazz is easy, isn't it?
Well, it's easy in that you can pretty much play anything and say it's jazz.
Substitutions.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, today we are discussing a video. We're discussing the video for the song Huggin Kissin by a band called bigblackdelta. Do you have anything to say about bigblackdelta, Professor J?
Sure. Well, one, I'd never heard of them before. And so I sort of dug a little bit into their history, and I understand that it's a dude whose name is Jonathan Bates, who was in an American rock band from Los Angeles, formed in 1999, called Mellowdrone, who I was also not aware of. Were you aware of Mellowdrone?
No, I'm not, and I'm sad to say I haven't gone and looked them up, which I probably should have done.
Yeah, I mean, I looked them up. I had to listen to some of their stuff. It's okay. It's fine.
It's okay. Mid, is it?
Yeah, it's okay. So he was in this rock band, and the thing is that it's written that he became frustrated with the logistics of a full band. So he initiated a solo project in 2010, dubbed the Big Black Delta. He also does other stuff. So he also plays as a touring musician for M83.
Oh, right.
You know M83?
No. I've heard the name, and I think they were quite big a few years ago.
Yeah, they're kind of they're a French kind of daft punky type duo, if I remember correctly, that sort of thing. So going back to Jonathan Bates, well, Mellowdrone originated as Jonathan Bates' solo project.
Oh, okay.
No, sorry, I've got confused there. But what I'm saying is that the Big Black Delta started off as a solo project, but it sort of expanded again to encompass a full band with Tony Di Matteo, guitar and keyboards, Scott Ellis on drums, Greg Griffith on bass. There's been people in and out. Yeah, I mean, let's go. Let's go into the description of the song.
Oh, Professor Dogger is speaking. Come on, you. That's enough. Oh dear, I think there may be a cat outside the window. It's all gone wrong. Professor Dogger. Now the grown ups to speak. Close your nose. Come here. That's enough. You're meant to be commenting quietly on the lyrics in the video. Right. Sorry, what were you saying, Professor J?
Well, I was saying he's done as Big Black Delta, which originally started as his solo project. He's released a number of albums. He's collaborated with all sorts of people, and so it's collaborated with other artists such as War Widow, Alessandro Cortini, Suzanne Dunfur, Morgan Kibbe, Poison, the World drummer Chris Hornbrook, blah 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 blah. So they've done a lot. They've released loads of albums. The song that we're discussing is 2016, right? Which I think is from their fourth song.
No, wasn't it from the second?
Fourth, yeah, I've got confused. They've released quite a lot of songs. They had 2 original songs on the Bill and Ted Face the Music. Yeah. I mean, I am completely unaware of this group. So where did you discover this group or solo
I think,
person?
like most people who've discovered them in the last couple of years, or maybe even 5 years, I can't remember when the show came out. There was a program on Netflix, I think, called The Sinner, which has 4 series, I think, and then quit. But the first series, this song was very prominent to the plot. Without too many spoilers, the one of the protagonists, played by Jennifer Beal, is a happy mother taking her kids to the beach or whatever, and suddenly she hears this song being played on a CD player or whatever by a group of lads, and she suddenly goes mental and stabs one of them to death.
Okay.
Um,
Oh.
and the song plays a large part in unraveling the mystery about why that happened to her. She had no idea why she did it.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's very pivotal to the plot.
Okay.
Professor Dogger, you are being a problem.
And what was the sequence in terms of this song driving the plot? Did they collaborate with the producers of The Sinner in terms of the lyrics or the video?
I don't think so. I think it was just used, just taken and sort of inspired the plot. Or
Okay.
they were wanting a song which could possibly inspire you to stab someone, and and fixed it around that. It's well worth a watch. It's a great series. I have watched all 4 series with the exception of the last couple of episodes of season 2 because I forgot. And it's just very well worth watching. Mystery, very weird, sort of weird cult stuff going on as well. But it's primarily a whodunit, I guess. But yeah, very good.
Okay.
Starring what's his name? You know,
Mm.
yeah,
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
yeah, him. There were 2 songs used in The Sinner, Huggin Kissin and Capsize from the same album.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and that's where I heard it from. I'm sure lots and lots of other people did, and expect their careers have taken off substantially since that. So that's good. Shall we dive into a description of the video?
Please.
As you can see, well, obviously, at this point, you've gone off and watched it on YouTube using the link
Oh,
we've
yes.
put underneath. Professor Dogger, could you come back, please? Stop sinning. See what I did there? Yes. As you can see, we have a picture in the bottom right of the screen. This is a still from the video. The video was created, animated by a chap called Adam Osgood, and it's actually part of a narrative trilogy with 2 other Big Black Delta songs, Bitten by the Apple from 2018 and Lord Only Knows from 2020. So if you think this one sounds interesting, or you thought it was interesting when you went off and watched it just now, then check those 2 out as well. Anyway.
So it continues the same story that we're going to watch?
Apparently so. I haven't had time to look at them yet, and I certainly shall straight after this podcast, and I'm wondering how they manage that, to be honest, but yes. So, what happens? A spacecraft, similar to the original lunar lander capsule, settles slowly on a red planet. The palette of the environment is composed of reds, oranges, purples, and yellows, as you can see in the still. A man in a spacesuit is seen walking across the barren desert surface of the planet. He walks towards a mountain range. He sees a cat. Sorry, Professor Dogger. The cat, casting a long shadow, is sitting in the desert beneath the mountains as if waiting for him. She's gone to look for the cat now. The cat can apparently breathe the atmosphere. We cut to a close-up on the cat. It is black with glowing green-blue eyes. It stares at the man while slowly wagging its tail. It's not outside. The man, seeing that the cat can breathe the atmosphere, removes the helmet of his spacesuit and finds he can breathe naturally. The cat walks purposefully across the desert with the man following, helmet tucked under his arm. See still. They are descending a slope. See still. They come to a house. Not an alien house, but what I would describe, possibly wrongly, as a 1950s style ranch house. The house has a tree and bushes around it, while outside the garage is parked a car, again seeming to be of 1950s vintage. A wide smile spreads across the man's face. Cut to a red-headed woman peering out of the house from behind the curtains. Cut to the man and woman in a passionate embrace, presumably inside the house. The man has removed his spacesuit. Cut to the woman standing, obviously pregnant. Things go quick in this video. Cut to man and woman sitting on a couch admiring their brand new baby. The cat sits beside them, looking at them. Cut, obviously, to a big white octopus swimming as they do. The octopus appears to dance, kind of, to the music. Cut back to the front yard of the house. Man and woman play with their now 2 children, while the cat sits and watches them. Fade to interior of the house, where man and woman sit on the couch. She is holding a Christmas bauble, and he has his arm around her waist. On the wall behind them is a Christmas wreath. Beneath a large decorated Christmas tree in front of the couch, the 2 children, now a couple of years older, play with a toy train. The cat sits and watches them. The cat's eyes pulse green. Cut to another familial scene. Man sits cross-legged on the floor, reading a magazine with his now 3 children. The eldest boy is perhaps now a young teenager, and there's a new little girl. Time is obviously passing quickly. The woman sits in a chair watching them, while the cat, for once, is curled up asleep next to them. Cut. Family again, a couple of years older, sit watching television. Cat watches too, seated alongside the youngest child on the floor. TV is showing a repetitive, hypnotic triangular pattern. Cut. This is where it gets weird, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen. Couple's bedroom. Woman is in bed, naked under the covers, looking at man, who we see from behind approaching the bed. He is also sans clothing. She looks perturbed. Camera closes in on her face, and she flickers somewhat. This flickering becomes intercut with an exterior view. The red planet again, and a shadow creature in the same position as the woman, with glowing blue-green eyes. Close-up of the man's face. His eyes grow wide in concern or fear. Switch back and forth between these scenes for a second or two. The man screams, holding his hands over his ears. Cut between him doing this in the house and outside on the planet in his spacesuit without helmet. Weird guitar solo bit. Back underwater, the cat, seeming much bigger, with claws extended and fangs on show, pounces on the octopus. Its eyes glow. The octopus's arms close around the cat as it approaches. Some kind of Godzilla Mothra vibe going on here. We cut back to the man in the spacesuit screaming with his hands pressed against his head. Cut back to the titanic struggle between cat and octopus. There are a lot of quick cuts in this video, as you might have noticed. Very quick cut to concerned people in a mission control center, presumably on Earth. That's like one frame. You could really miss it if you're not watching.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah. More cat octopus. Cut back to the house. Timeline appears to be approximately the same as the TV scene, judging by the size of the children. At the kitchen table, the eldest child does homework. The youngest child is reading a magazine or drawing pictures. In any case, on the table in front of her is a picture of a stereotypical alien head. The woman and the elder daughter are cooking. The ingredients appear to be butter, flour, eggs, milk, and octopus, of which there is a bowl filled with several. The cat sits in the corner of the room, watching the activity at the table. Coming through the door, presumably home from work, comes the man. He is wearing a business suit and carrying a briefcase. The man removes his jacket. He casts a strong shadow on the wall behind him. The woman, holding an octopus in her hand, turns her head over her shoulder towards him. She seems to cast no shadow. She raises the octopus to her face. It is moving and obviously alive. She puts it into her mouth head first, and its tentacles wave outside her mouth as she begins to masticate it. Cut back to outside, where the shadow version of the woman with the glowing eyes is now throttling the man in his spacesuit without helmet. Cut back and forth between this and the woman slowly approaching the man. Cut to man running, shown from knees down. Cut back to TV scene from earlier. Cut to running. Cut to lunar lander capsule taking off. Cut back to an earlier scene of familial bliss. Running. Each previous happy scene is viewed, intercut with running and capsule getting further off the ground. Cut to man having removed his helmet initially. A green readout and a red light on the front of his spacesuit pulse frantically. Cut back to fight between octopus and cat. Octopus releases a cloud of ink and seems to escape. Cut back to man and the readouts. Cut to 3 skeletons in spacesuit inside the lunar lander capsule. That's another very quick cut. Back to the octopus, which does indeed escape from the cat. Flash to a close-up of the cat's glowing eyes. Cut to cat walking in desert. Fade to black as cat reaches right edge of screen. I need some tea after that, so do say something.
I have no idea what's going on.
No.
So
Um,
I found it very confusing, especially when there was the octopus in the mouth. I didn't notice that she wasn't casting a shadow.
yeah, I mean, that could just have been the angle of it, but that's what it seemed to me, like her
Yeah.
shadow was somewhere else, perhaps. I think it's just a standard. Oh, here we go again. Stop it. It's the standard sort of the
Cat
octopus.
fights,
I think
cat
the
fights
octopus.
octopus.
Yes, one of those cat fight octopuses movies. The octopus, I think, is sort of a vague Cthulhu reference. H.P. Lovecraft, his Starry Wisdom books, which all had aliens with tentacles in them. For that, I think it's simply a fact that he didn't see the cat; he saw the shadow creature. The shadow creature persuaded him to take his helmet off, and he died. But he hallucinated all this, his life going forward with the woman in the house while he was dying. I think that's
Oh
how I
wow!
view it. I mean, they're
Wow.
obviously in the cutback to the mission control center. They're obviously very worried that the mission's going horribly wrong.
Mm.
The three skeletons in the spacesuits in the lander capsule. I'm not so sure about that. I mean, what happened to them? They've still got their helmets on. So it wasn't the same thing, whatever it was, but they're presumably the other members of the mission, and they've perhaps without all four of them, it was impossible to take off again, so they just stayed there till they died. I don't know. It's just a very twisted alien kills man video, I think.
Yeah, you say cat. I mean, for
Mm.
me, it was a big old cat, right? More like a puma type thing.
Well, if you look at the still on the screen, it's about
It
cat
does look
size.
small, though. You're
Yeah.
right. For some reason, I thought it was. I had in my head that it was a big cat or a medium cat, a lynx,
It's a
not like
medium
a
cat, yes.
domestic cat. Um, yeah, so I hadn't thought about that at all.
Right.
I just assumed it was some sort of man woman get together, think things are going one way, and then they go a different way, sort of thing. Everything falls apart. But I found it very confusing. So I was
Yes.
looking
Well, it
forward to
certainly
your
is.
explanation.
That was my explanation.
So why do you like this so?
I like the song. And I think the
Okay,
video is very clever, very cleverly animated, which is good. But I like the song. I think it's an absolute banger.
yeah, it is a
Um,
banger.
I don't think the lyrics are great, but they
Well,
fit the music.
should we go into the lyrics while we're here?
Let's do that. Let's do it.
Okay. Giving me love all on your canvas, all of the girls all on the mattress.
Yeah, I think this is about. I think these lyrics are about a man who visits prostitutes, or they
Okay.
visit him.
Yep. Okay. Lock the door, dim the lights, bottoms up. I'm in love and you too.
Mm. Well, they're getting it on.
Yeah.
Interestingly, bottoms up, as I said, the other song on the album that was used in the cinema is a song called Capsize, which I guess goes with bottoms up.
That's very true.
So, yeah.
Um, yeah, and then the next lyrics are the kind of the main hook, right? You're the
Yes.
best I can do. You're the best I can do. You're the.
I guess the man doesn't think he can form a relationship in a normal way, so the prostitute
Yeah.
is the best he can do.
Yeah.
So,
Pushing and shoving, hugging and kissing all of the time, all over again.
yeah, he's doing
Yeah.
it all the time. All the
Lock the
time.
door
Prostitutes all the
all
time.
the time. Lock the doors, then we'll die. Bottoms up. I'm in love. I love you.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Then We'll Die, but perhaps he's expecting a cat demon to come and kill him or something. I don't know. There's no
So we've
connection at
got
all between Lewis and
we've got a bit more of "You're the best I can do"s. Then the next new lyrics are, "And she told me that she loved me, and she gave me my money back." Right.
So, a prostitute has fallen in love with him as he has fallen in love with her, kind of.
Yeah. And she
So
told me, "You're the best I can do." That she loved me. You're the best I can do. Repeat, repeat. It's a beautiful love story.
it is, yeah,
It's Pretty Woman.
pretty much. Although I don't see why she'd give his money back. And I think it also comes out that, although it's not said directly, it's between a forward line and a backing vocal, that it's also suggesting that he's the best she can do as well. So,
Right.
Yeah, you say love story. What if we had something similar? We had a similar line in one of the songs we did for the Lana Del Rey
Oh yeah.
episode. Oh, actually, it was a song we didn't cover, but anyway, she has a song. The song Norman effing Rockwell from the album.
Yeah.
She says, "Why wait for the best when I can have you?" I guess that's.
Oh, we did do that song.
We referred to it, and we
Okay.
did a song which has the line Norman Rockwell in it.
That's true.
No, so I think there's something similar. Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot we can say about these lyrics.
No, I
They
mean,
fit the music.
there's good, and I think what is essential in songwriting is to have something that is a hook, be that a musical hook or a lyrical hook or something that you can relate to, and you're the best I can do. I think is a good hook, both lyrically and
Yes,
musically.
yeah. Musically, we should say, for anyone who hasn't watched the video yet, and you really should have, you're stuck. It's very 80s revival style.
It is, but
Big,
with a quite distorted bass.
yes, so the bass is great. I think. I would suggest that if you like the song from watching the video, you go and find their live at KRCW, is it? I think performance.
So there are two live performances that I was able to find on their YouTubes. First is that sort of very live one when
Yeah,
they're playing live, and it's really close up on him singing. You don't really see any other musicians, although you occasionally see the
it's a
head of
drummer.
a bass.
Oh,
You see the bass popping in and out. I found that unwatchable
yeah, no,
because of
I
the
agree.
flashing lights.
That's not the one I'm recommending.
No. But the other one is fascinating. So it's a kind of live lounge sort of
Yeah, I
situation.
think it's KCRW. It's the
Yeah,
radio station.
yeah. Um, and the guitar solo, the funny noise bit that you mentioned,
The
to
octopus.
me, yeah, to me it sounds like um, he's going crazy on a bit crusher. And I rewatched it in close detail to see if I could see what he was doing. So he's obviously doing something when he's doing that. I'm sure he's turning on a bit crusher, but I couldn't identify the pedal. Although he does seem to be using an expression pedal during that bit as well. But the thing that really made me laugh and stop the video and go back, stop this and go back and watch it, is that as he finishes his solo, he knocks his headphones off
Yes, missed that.
because they're obviously in a like a quiet studio, and
Yes.
they've all got headphone monitoring so they can hear themselves and they can hear the
Mm.
whole mix as well. And he's doing this solo, and baff, his headphones fall off, and then it cuts away. So yeah, go and watch that. That made me laugh.
I should also state that in that video, Jonathan Bates or whatever is wearing a mean V-neck sweater. It's a very, very,
He's from the rough streets of Los
yeah,
Angeles, right?
absolutely, yeah.
Do you know the name of his record label, Professor A?
I do. I believe it's called Masters of Bates. The old ones are the best. It's gone all Captain Pugwash in here. Although apparently that's an urban legend. There was no one called Master Bates. Apparently not. Um, yes. So is that all we have to say about this video?
Yeah, it's good.
Before I go on to our
Like it.
additional point for today.
Oh, extra
Oh,
material. Oh,
referring back to our first artist, Nick Cave, Cage. Um, we mentioned at that time that he's got a sort of email agony uncle service called the Red Hand Files. And a month or so ago, three different people wrote in asking him what were his favourite songs he's written, and he said he's not qualified to answer, but instead asked other users of the service to write in their top 15 songs, and he's had someone stick it through Chat GPT or something to rank them. He says he got thousands of responses. So anyway, I just thought it'd be interesting to see which of these we'd covered and which we had not.
Okay, hit me.
Covered
Oh,
as in talked about, not
yeah.
covered as in covered. Number 15, Oh Children. Oh, number 14, Straight to You. Good song, but we didn't cover it. Bright Horses, love that song, didn't cover it. 12, Ghost Team. Yep, didn't cover it. 12 minutes long, I think. 11, Red Right Hand. This one we did cover. I don't particularly think it's one of his best songs at all. But it's the one which everyone knows. So. Number 10, Higgs Boson Blues. This one we did cover.
Yeah, we did.
Great song.
That's the kind of, but that's an interesting one to say is one of his best songs when it's purely what's the word I'm looking for? It's made up
very
on the
few chords.
improvised. It's
Yes.
improvised on the spot. I'm surprised that because it's more
I
like
think it just
free-form
touches a lot of
improv.
people. The lyrics do speak to. They certainly speak
Right.
to me.
Yeah.
Probably. I think your average Nick Cave fan is as much into lyrics as music, I'd say. Number 9, The Weeping Song. Again, fantastic song. Didn't do it. 8, Push the Sky Away. Love that song. Didn't do it. 7, Stagger Lee. Was going to do this one. Thought that we'd get tired of wanking out obscenities, so didn't pick it. 6, The Mercy Seat. This we did do. I'm surprised this one isn't higher, to be honest. Great lyrics. Quite strange
Electric
lyrics.
chair one, right?
The electric chair one. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm surprised that wasn't higher. Number 5, Tupelo. This we also did.
Oh yes,
Big flood.
Elvis.
Big rain come down, whatever it is.
Yep.
Mud. Sandman's mudda. Yes.
Yep.
Number 4, The Ship Song. Didn't do it. Number 3, From Her to Eternity, which is a horrible pun on the old movie From Here to Eternity, of course. Didn't do it. Number 2, Into My Arms. No. Considered doing it, but no, we didn't do that one. And the number 1 song, is it one we did? No, it's Jubilee Street, which I did want to pick, but I kind of, my reason for not picking it isn't really valid in the format we do, but it was the reason anyway. I didn't pick it because I think the album version is weak. I think it's just music doesn't go anywhere, whatever. However, the live versions I've heard of it are fantastic. But as we're not playing the songs, I don't know why that made any difference to why I didn't pick it. But anyway, that's the top 15 of his songs. So we covered 1, 2, no, 4.
Oh, okay.
So 4 out of the 10, 9 we did? 9, I think. Yeah. So it just shows how much people's opinions differ. Although I wasn't really presenting them as being the best songs, just the
No,
ones
we're
I
not
wrote
choosing the best
lyrics.
songs. We're choosing
No.
the songs to understand what makes them click, what the lyrics are about, and what the lyrics and what makes it a hooky song, right?
Yeah. I think that's what we're doing. It'd be nice if we knew by episode 13, which in terms of recording is actually episode 16. That's a bit confusing, so we won't mention that. Yes, so there we go. A little bit of
I
additional
forgot
content.
to give the word count for today's song.
And
So,
unfortunately, we don't have time. Oh, go on.
how many words are there in Huggin and a Kissin? That's right.
I would say 120.
242.
Wow. Okay.
And how many unique words?
Not many. 35.
49.
I suppose it's that many.
Well,
Wow.
that's kind of the classic middle line that Mr. Ben Folds suggested, that most songs are 45 to 50 songs, 45 to 50 words. So it's bang in the middle.
Yeah. What's our? You don't. I suppose you don't have the lyrics really because I haven't presented those. I was wondering if you'd done a count on "Last Waltz in the Library of the Temple" as our latest song. It's going to be slightly more unique words than that. It's probably going to be a couple of
There's a whole rap in it.
whole rant. Yes. Yeah, we'll get that finished when we finish the season, and we will start putting some songs up on our Wildest Skies page, which you can see linked in the middle. Well, not linked, but listed in the middle. That is there for a reason. We do intend to produce some content on there too. We're just waiting until we've finished the podcast recording. So there you go. Anyway, unless you have anything else to say, Professor Joe? No,
Nope.
no. Okay. Professor Dogger is exhausted by her exertions of earlier and is fallen asleep. So anyway, give us a like, give us a subscription, and we will be back. Oh, it's our next episode is our final in-depth view, isn't it? Which band are we doing for the last 3 episodes of that?
Is that the Cult?
That's right, the Cult. Yes,
Yes.
it's not like we've already recorded it and forgotten or anything. Yeah.
Don't
Okay.
spoil the magic. Don't look behind
No.
the curtain.
Okay, right. Well, anyway, see you next time, guys. Cheers.
Bye bye.